Hey everybody, let's get into the Christmas spirit. I'll tell you what I'm reading this December. Stay tuned. So I just finished A Quilt for Christmas by Melody Carlson, and I would love to thank Baker Publishing for sending this book to me for free in exchange for my honest review. And my honest review is that I loved this book. I really enjoyed it. It was the perfect, inspirational, uplifting Christmas read. Now, A Quilt for Christmas is a novella. It's about 170, 180 pages. And it starts out with this elderly widow named Vera. And Vera has moved. She sold her house and gave all of her Christmas decorations to her daughter. And she got a condo near her daughter. And her daughter's supposed to take over the big family gatherings for Christmas. But her daughter's husband got a job in California. So they relocated to California right after Vera sold her home and bought a condo. So now Vera is left all by herself and, no family nearby and no big house for Christmas. She's in this condo. She doesn't really know any new neighbors or anything like that. And she's feeling a little blue about that when this little girl knocks on the door and is just desperate for help for her mom. And the little girl's name is Fiona. So Vera goes across the hall. The little girl lives across the hall with her mom. She's 4 years old, Fiona is. And Vera discovers that the mom is in desperate need of the hospital. She's having significant medical problems. So Vera takes Fiona and the mother and brings them to the hospital. And then she ends up taking Fiona home while the mother's still in the hospital. And Fiona has 2 siblings that Vera has to wait for to come home from school. And so Vera sort of takes care of these 3 children, elementary school age children, while mom is in the hospital. And Fiona is looking around Vera's condo and she sees that Vera quilts. Vera made a beautiful quilt. And so Fiona wants a quilt for her mom. And she says, please, can you make this quilt for my mom? I'll help you. And of course, she's only 4. But Vera's heart breaks for her a little bit. And so she says, well, I'll try. And she's trying to talk little Fiona into a lap quilt or a pillow. But Fiona is determined that her mom gets a quilt for Christmas, a big quilt. And it's just so lovely. Vera tries to say that she can't make the quilt by herself on such short notice. And so Fiona's brother makes flyers, and Fiona and Vera go around town posting flyers asking for help. So in exchange for helping Vera and Fiona, little 4-year-old Fiona, make this quilt, Vera's going to teach other people how to quilt. And she gets what the book calls a ragtag group of women. It's just really sweet. One is a fairly young woman. I'm picturing she's in her 30s. She's divorced and she works in her aunt's flower shop. And she's very artistic, so she's interested in learning how to quilt. And then there's this other woman who's just all bubbly and loves to bake and just so sweet and cuddly. And then there's this woman who's really grouchy named Eleanor. And of course, Eleanor, the Snow Queen, will she melt as the story unfolds? We all love, the angry, bitter person and finding out what's really going on with them. So I enjoyed that aspect of the book too. But the thing I really, really loved about A Quilt for Christmas was just all the beauty of the people coming together to make a beautiful quilt for a woman, and everyone just looking for ways to help, and to spread the Christmas joy. And it was just a really uplifting, wonderful book. Hi, everybody. I'm back with another book that I read during my Christmas month. This is another Christmas read. So this book is Christmas Chocolates and Crimes by Cindy Bell. And it was just a fun little cozy mystery that I read and I finished last night. It was very predictable. I definitely figured out, you know, the whodunit part pretty early in the book. There was one surprise toward the end, but it was just mostly a fun, cozy mystery. I especially loved there's a cat and a pig in the story. So if you like cozy mysteries with candy and food, I mean, candy is food, but if you like cozy mysteries with chocolates and just fun family and just, it was just very cozy. So in this story, Allie is working in her grandmother Charlotte's chocolate store when Charlotte goes home and finds some of her neighbors fighting because the one neighbor loves like a lot of Christmas decorations, a lot of Christmas music, and this grouchy neighbor doesn't like that. The music is too loud and there's just a lot of fighting. And of course, one of the neighbors ends up murdered. And so Charlotte, because she lives in the apartment complex, is implicated in the murder. She's one of the suspects. And Allie, her granddaughter, is trying to prove her grandma didn't do it. So she wants to find the murderer. And it was just a very sweet, cozy mystery. Like I say, there were a lot of descriptions of the chocolate shop and the cat. I especially liked the cat Peaches in the book. So I did enjoy Christmas Chocolates and Crimes for light reading. You know, like I say, it wasn't like a gripping page turner, but it was a fun, relaxing read right before Christmas. Hey, so I'm back with Truffles. Say hello, Truffles. Say Merry Christmas. I'm having a hard time getting into this book, Leslie Mueller's Christmas Card Murder. I've read other books by Leslie. Oh, I guess it's Meier. I've read other books by her, and I've talked about them on this channel, and I've enjoyed them. Christmas Card Murder, I almost DNF'd it twice. I don't know. I got maybe 50 more pages. I may as well finish it. But it's the same characters. They are lovely, enjoyable characters. It's this woman who writes for the Penny Saver, and she's, you know, she finds a Christmas card in her house. I guess Truffles isn't a fan. She finds a Christmas card in her house and she goes around looking for the story behind the Christmas card. It's a really mean card. It says something like, I hope you get what you deserve. And it's from a long time ago. And I guess that's why I'm having a hard time getting into it, because it's a card that maybe to the person who owned the house before her, and it was a long time ago, and it's like, who really cares? I don't know. I do like the characters. I like the woman that writes for the Penny Saver. Her husband is a carpenter, and he's building her a bathroom, and she wants this master bathroom, and she goes and visits her grown daughter, and they do some shopping. So I enjoy the characters. It's kind of like seeing an old friend. I like that about the book, but I can't say I really care what happened to the girl that lived in the house before the main character. What is the main character's name even? Well, Dorcas is the woman that lived in the house before. And Lucy is the woman now that's trying to find out, you know, she found this Christmas card in her house and she's trying to find out if there's a story behind the Christmas card. I don't know. There are 2 other books in here, so I'm really excited, hopefully, to enjoy one of the other books in here. And again, I have read Leslie Meier before. She is fun as far as Christmas mysteries or cozy mysteries. She writes fun, cozy mysteries. I think I read a Valentine's Day book by her. I think it was something about Valentine's Day candy murderer or something like that. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the characters. So anyway, just checking in. I'll keep you posted. Hello again. I am in my car waiting for my son to come out of his dental appointment. And I want to finish up this video and post it before Christmas. So forgive the ambiance. Anyway, I gave up on Christmas Card Murder, and it's a shame because I liked her Valentine chocolate mystery, but there are two other books in here. And so one is Death of a Christmas Carol by Lee Hollis, and the other is Death of a Christmas Card Crafter by Peggy Ehrhart. And I'm going to maybe consider one of them next, or Noel Street, which sounds like a waitress who's down on her luck, and Christmas Miracle. So this sounds inspiring and lovely. Noel Street by Richard Paul Evans. So it's between Noel Street or one of these cozy mysteries. So feel free in the comments to say what you suggest, because I'm going to get this posted, and I will be reading this. I'll probably be reading my Christmas books after Christmas because, I just want to get this out there. I know I've been pretty bad about posting videos. In the meantime, I did take a break from this book, and I needed something to read, so I did a Debbie Macomber, because I like Debbie Macomber. Now, Debbie Macomber has books about angels. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me, that Bible verse. And so there are some Debbie Macomber books where there are angels named Shirley. I think there's an angel named Goodness. There's definitely an angel named Mercy and an angel named Will. And they come down to earth and they interfere with humans' lives and try to help them. And it's very funny. I love those books. And so I was wondering if this was one of those books, and it's not. So this is Small Town Christmas, and there are two novellas in here. There's Promise, Texas, which I did not read. And then there's Gold River, Alaska, Mail Order Bride. So Promise, Texas, I guess, Return to Promise is the name of the book. And then Mail Order Bride takes place in Gold River, Alaska. And I did read Mail Order Bride. It took me a few hours. It was a very light, quick, easy read. It was an enjoyable break because I've been just go, go, go all month, as most people probably have. Mail Order Bride was a really fun book about a girl. Her name was Caroline Meier, and she was jilted. I don't remember if she was jilted at the altar. I think she was jilted right before her wedding, and she was very devastated. And she lives with these two elderly women, her great aunts, who surprised her with a trip to Alaska to help her get past being jilted. I don't think it was at the altar, but being a jilted bride who didn't get to get married. And so these two great aunts, these two elderly women who are just adorable, they send her to Alaska for a surprise vacation. But the real surprise is that her groom is waiting for her. So they found an ad for a man who was looking for a bride, and they responded as if they were Caroline Meier. And so here's the book. And Caroline shows up in Alaska, and of course the aunts spiked her tea. She was drinking tea on the journey, and so she shows up in Alaska quite schnockered and ends up married to this guy. And she did not plan on getting married, so she's quite upset about this. So here she is, stuck in Alaska, married to this guy, and there's a noisy truck behind me. Every time I try to film out in public, this kind of thing happens. Okay, so the noisy truck is still here, but it's off. So hopefully I can bang out the rest of this video really quick. All right, so Caroline gets married in Alaska to Paul Trevor. And when she wakes up the next morning and realizes that she's been tricked into this wedding, she wants out of it and she wants to go back home. And Paul won't let her out of the marriage. So there's no consecration of the marriage. He was a gentleman, so I have to let you know that. He was a gentleman, because, I don't like a lot of heaving. So she does try to get out of the marriage, and he won't let her out. She does find some friends, some other women in the Alaskan community, and she builds a wonderful friendship with a very sweet, pregnant Alaskan woman. and some other women who knit together. And so she joins them for knitting and just becomes a nice part of the community. Now, her friend that was pregnant ends up going into labor, and Caroline, has to deliver the baby. So Caroline does deliver the baby, and she has to use her medical skills, and she becomes, do you remember Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman? It kind of reminded me of that. She becomes this medical professional in the community, and she becomes an important part of the community. And then another medical crisis hits the community, and I really love that aspect of the book. I love the friendship that the women formed in the book, and the character of Paul Trevor, desperately wanting her to love him and to want him, and he waits very patiently until she decides that she does want to be his wife in every sense of the word. So I loved that about the book. I will say there wasn't exactly explicit heaving, but there was a lot of emotional, romantic angst, and that's not really my thing. A lot of my viewers do like romance. So, and Debbie Macomber, she's your textbook romance author. So I think you would like it. I read it. It was a light, fluffy read, but if you're one of those like me and you're not into the angst and there wasn't exactly inappropriate graphic depictions of heaving. I appreciate most of that was left to the imagination. It was ever present. It was very much in the book, but it was left to the imagination. So I thank you, Debbie Macomber, for that. But it had a little more romantic angst than I would typically read. So I think it was a good book, though. I did enjoy it. It was a nice escape from, the busy things I have going on in my life. All right. So that concludes my Christmas reads. It does not conclude all the books that I've read for Christmas, but I do want to make sure I get something posted. So thank you for your patience with me, and I hope you have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Bye for now.